95.
Well, good morning. It's Thursday. Yeah, I think it's November 5 or from November. I love it. It's oh, God, that February 5. My goodness. And this is just coming into the shop, and this is one of the most unusual Nortons I've ever seen in my life. Look at that. Look at the upside down forks. Look at the discs. Look at how heavy they are. Look at the it's a 75 motor, got a starter on it. Look at this disc back here. Is that single or double? It's a single up front. This is a hardtails type rear suspension like Harley-Ferguson has on their hardtails. And it's gorgeous. I mean, the workmanship is just incredible. And got some guts hanging out here. Stuff we probably won't need because we have a starter. Still running points. That'll go away. And if there's room for a battery, that would be a big help. Let's take a look. Oh, this side's open. We can get a battery in here. My goodness. What an interesting bike. So, we'll get the owner in here and have him tell us about it. It's got a plate on it. You riding this thing on the street?
I haven't actually.
Do you plan to?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God!
I do.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I left
You want lights on it and everything?
Yeah, that's why I left it to an expert.
Oh my gosh! Stand over by your bike and tell us all about it. When did you start on this? And what was it?
Probably, 3-4 years ago.
And did you build in that soft tail rear end?
The half part of it. I didn't have the front end. And I started thinking of what I needed to do. So I had all these Ducati parts lying around. And then I got my mind going. I got a Bobber Harley. I got a Ducati. And then this Norton. I've been wanting to have a Norton.
Oh my gosh.
So finally I got one. And my mind started to think. I said, you know what? I got a front end. I got a rear end. Let me correct you on the front. It's dual disc.
It is dual disc. I'm looking at it. Yeah, that's got some
disc.
stopping power. Ooh-ah.
And then I got this guy to actually customize the rear end. He says I have to find a tubing instead of those flat ones.
Yep.
So it kind of matches the frame. And
He built that for you?
he built it for me.
Wow.
He built it for me.
Wow.
And then he told me to go get a sprocket that it's aligned to the tranny.
Okay.
I have the heads done from this guy down by Tempe.
Okay.
And then I got another guy who actually customized this. We might have a room for battery. I don't know how big this is in the back.
You got a room for a battery right here.
Yeah, that might be it too.
Well,
I mean, like I said, Frank, you're the man to talk to, and finally got the right man to kind of work on it. It's
All right. So do you have the tranny cover off, and you've got
the cover.
you got all kinds of parts over there.
I got the primary cover. I start looking for parts. Need some probably gaskets or O-ring. I stop right there because it looks
Not to worry.
complicated.
Yeah, not to worry. All right, so let's go over here and look in this box. We have a box of bits. Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive.
So I got some old style headlights. Battery.
We had the battery box, yeah.
Battery box. I got all these
Stuff.
Manual. I don't know. This might work either. I found it at a garage sale. And then lo and behold, we got the primary cover.
Okay, and tranny cover.
Oil filter. And I should have
Yeah, there's the tranny cover. Okay, good.
this. Start peg.
There you go.
And I was gonna install these things for push buttons. This. Yeah, I got a few more that I don't think I'm gonna need.
Okay, now I can run the wire for the headlights. I can't build you a headlight assembly or mount. That's out of my realm of capabilities. I got no machining at all.
I might have a bracket for her.
Okay, then we'll leave that open. I'll get the wiring in place, And basically, at this point in time, what you want me to do is make the motor run.
Correct.
And then after that, we'll talk about all of the ancillary systems that you may or may not want me to work on.
For sure.
Okay, so, all right, you've got points in there. We need to mount a battery. We need to put an electronic ignition in, because I don't work on points ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll put a rectifier regulator in it to keep the battery charged. And we'll probably try to take that battery mount that you've got in there and maybe try to make it fit. If not, we'll fabricate a battery mount. And yeah, this is going to be interesting. I mean, like, we'll see.
Yeah.
That's going to take some fitting. Well, I mean to tell you, this thing is heavy duty all over. Okay, say your name.
Edward Garcia.
Way to go, Edward. I think this is just fascinating. I really do. And it is easily the most interesting bike I've ever had in here. And I've had a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and close this video down and go over and do the paperwork. Well, this bike is going to be one of the most fun projects I've had in here in a long time. It is a serious challenge. Putting the cover back on the transmission, I don't see any real problem there. I think I have all the parts over there on the bench. We'll go over and take a look. Getting the rear brakes to work out of scope, I don't do that. I'm going to put an electronic ignition in there. My objective is to get the engine to run in place. After that, the owner is going to do all the other work. He'll make custom hydraulic lines and put a splitter here and then a line up to the master cylinder. We need a throttle assembly. He needs a throttle assembly for 1-inch handlebars. These are Harley bars. Well, they're 1 inch, not the British bars. So he'll take care of that. The clutch cable is going to be interesting because this, first of all, this is a clutch cable, but it's worn. You can see it's starting to come apart. So we can't use that. And we can't use it anyway because this drum is way bigger than the drum hole. Let's see if I can get up in here and show it to you. Up in here. Let's see if I can get a focus. This, where the drum goes in, is really small compared to this guy. So that's just, let's see if we get up here and show it to you. All right, so there it is. It just doesn't go. So I'm gonna have to get some sort of custom-made clutch cable, but once again, that's out of scope. I'm just getting the engine running. Rocker covers have been replaced. That's kind of nice. The bolts on the manifolds have been replaced. That's kind of nice. I'm going to take these carbs off and go through them. So I'm going to buy 2 carb kits for a rebuild on those. And the relay will mount up here. And a nice big battery will fit in here, but I'm not going to make a battery holder. I'm just going to put the battery in this area and wire everything up. And the owner has more fabrication equipment and skill than I do to actually make the battery box, because it will go in here. I've fitted a battery already for fit and feel. I got to close up the primary case and hook up the shifter mechanism. One thing we're not sure of whether the sprag clutch is in here properly, and I just found these in the spare parts, in the box of parts. These are the locking tabs that lock the bolts that lock the primary to the engine case. They're way in there, and they go from here to here, locking these 2 cases together. Now, it's so far apart at this point, it's not a lot of trauma to take all this out of here, make sure that the sprag clutch is installed properly, put the bolts in again with the proper locking tabs, and then put it back together and seal it up. Let's see, what do I have over here? Here's the stuff for the transmission. I think That's all I need. I'm going to double check. Here's 3 exhaust crush washers. I'll take a look inside the pipes and see if they have sufficient crush washers in there. This is some leftover carb stuff. Not a lot. These are valuable. Keep those. The rest of this stuff is really just can go in the ammo box. Okay. This is a whole bunch of gaskets that we probably won't need because they've been replaced when they did the rocker shaft covers. This is a little scary. These are oil seals for the valves, the valve guide oil seals, and these look brand new. And if somebody rebuilt this head and did not install these, well, it's gonna blow smoke. But taking the head off to check the valves, or even checking the valves somehow, is out of scope. Once again, I'm going to get the bike running. Extra washers, some of which are valuable. Extra nuts and bolts, some of which may be valuable. A whole lot of beautiful hex head bolts for putting on the primary and the tranny outer cover. That's really nice. Got the gasket for the oil fixture. I need a peg for the left foot peg, the peg that goes in here. I'll look for that, buy that. Here's the starter relay, no problem. That'll bolt up in there. Here's the starter itself. Frankly, I don't see any sense in putting it on. We're trying to keep the bike as light as possible. We'll talk about that later. Ground wire, we'll use that. This might be the spring for the side stand, not sure. Usually they're bigger than that, but I'll try this and see if it'll work. Brand new ignition switch. I will use this, figure a way to mount it, because it's ignition and lights contained there. Horn, I'll run wires for it, but not mount it. If it works, we'll use it. If it doesn't, we won't. Tail light, we'll run wires to the back of the bike for this tail light, but no, I don't have a mount, and I won't make it. This is a nice oil filter. I'll replace it. That's a good idea. Takes us over here. This is the throttle assembly that came with it, but it's for small handlebars. So I can't really use it on this bike. What I'll probably do is figure out some way of lashing a section of handlebar up there so I can use this for testing. I do need throttle cables. And this is a tachometer, but it's frozen. I tried to spin it and it's just locked up tighter than a drum, so it has no value. This is the old wiring loom. Actually, it's not even for this bike. It's for an earlier model, I think. But anyway, that's not usable. These are this is the assimilator. That's from an earlier model. Blue capacitor and a rectifier, none of which will be used. There are 3 switches here I don't have a use for, and a little toggle switch that I don't have a use for. This stuff in here is just pure no value parts. We'll just put that in there. That's no value. They can be tossed. So the inventory is going well, and I've got a list going on here that of stuff that I have run across, and we will start talking about getting some of it. But right now, my objective is only to get this bike running here on the lift, and the rest of the fabrication and making the bike into a vehicle will go back to the owner for the project to be completed. I'm going to try to get the motor running. Get your motor running. Anyway, that's where we are. That's as far as we're going to go today. I'm going to go in here and post this video and call it a day.